Terrified you as a kid that isn't scary now. Looking at mirrors in the night. Thought they would become haunted in the dark. Edit, thank you guys. Really needed it. Didn't know this would be such a relatable thing. I did think it was a really unique weird type of fear. Edit 2, still that my fear was based on an optical illusion, as presented in some of the replies that pointed to this video, which explains it. 21 and I'm still scared to look in a mirror at night. I don't want to know what's behind me in the dark. Now I'm scared of mirrors again. Have you seen that movie? It's hit or miss with people overall, but the opening sequence has been mentioned a couple times in the most disturbing scene from a movie thread that's up now. Movie Mirrors, from 2008 with Kiefer Sutherland. Clicked on the link and then realized I should not watch this for my own good. Never really been scared of mirrors outside of the Bloody Mary thing as a kid, but there are some parts of this movie that gave me chills. Fucking Candyman really messed me up as a kid. Couldn't go in front of a mirror for the good part of a year. My brother and some of his friends did Bloody Mary when I was a kid. First couple times it didn't do anything. I thought it was stupid. We did it a last time and I got spooked because I thought I saw something, so I go to turn on the lights, they wouldn't turn on, go to open the door and it wouldn't open. And I felt something grab the back of my shirt the direction of the mirror, and freak out, grab the door and pull as hard as kid me could and ran to my room crying. It would have been a prank by my brother and his friends, but I'd how the lights wouldn't turn on or the door wouldn't open. I refused to do it again. Very long time ago I was telling my grandma how scared I was of Bloody Mary, so she went in the bathroom, shut the door, said Bloody Mary 3 times, and screamed like she was eye to eye with some eldritch hell. Then came out like everything was fine. She also kicked my ass in horse. Circuit breaker. My sisters fucked me up. When I was like 7 we did the Bloody Mary thing. They had used hairspray to spray a face on the mirror. When my eyes were closed they lit it on fire, unscrewed the light, and shut the door behind me and wouldn't open it as I cried like a little bitch. Remember the neighbor kids put the fear of God into me and my younger brother over this. They told us about it and then said look, we did it, and that night, one of the girls got scratched up on her leg. Hard evidence as a kid and lack of critical thinking skills has me scared of turning my back on a mirror in a dark room even now, even though I know it's irrational. It happened to us with a Ouija board. Lights cut out and wouldn't turn on. No grabbing though. No idea if our friend was just a really good troll or not. I was a missionary in Samoa for 2 years, and noticed Samoans always keep sheets draped over their mirrors all the time. I eventually learned that the Samoans carry a superstition that the mirrors can become a portal for demonic spirits to harm you or possess your body. I hear that when viewing the moon through the mirror, you could have this happen to you. The idea of the moon in the mirror makes more sense considering that the Samoans I visited and came to love normally lived in huts, or houses without walls that have poles as foundations. Lots of weird voodoo stuff I experienced while there. How exactly was that weird voodoo stuff not more far-fetched than the stories you were spreading around? Want to know more? Bloody Mary isn't so scary. Thanks for this, smiley face, smiley face. And I watched that movie in bed next to a huge mirror. I switched it off when it got to the part where the kid says he can hear crying coming from his mirror. Such a wuss, just this made me clench up in fear. I've never seen the movie, or know anything about it, but crying coming from a mirror? Fuck that. For some reason my mom taught me and my siblings a Bloody Mary version of Row 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 Your Boat. I don't remember the lyrics, but we used to sing it all the time as kids. Your mother is interesting. Cool. Made a promise to myself years ago to never watch anything again that would make me lose sleep. Same here. I realized I get absolutely nothing out of it aside from lasting dread. There's better ways to entertain myself. Man, it's been 12 years. I still get flashbacks. Really love that movie. I should watch it again now that I've set up my media room. I've seen the movie once and forgotten it, if that says anything. I mean, I think it was good, I can't remember. Apparently it wasn't anything that left an impact on me in my memory bank of good movies. It was so traumatic you blocked it out. As a guy who likes scary movies and get pissed off wasting time watching these new scary movies on Netflix and Prime, I wish it was that scary. I fear is something lurking in the dark, usually some fictional monster, and the movie had me covering reflective surfaces for a week. Okay, can we stop here please? If you like the idea of it, but would rather listen to some hilarious inebriated jerks talk about it, you should check out the Flophouse podcast. Episode number 34 was the movie Mirrors. And they've made like 300 other episodes that are mostly good too. Oculus is also a pretty scary movie, I think. Read your comment and realized I should not click the link. Genuinely have a lot of trouble imagining a movie with Kiefer Sutherland that is scary. I don't often find movies scary, but Flatliners was pretty close. Dark City is scary on a more cerebral level. The Lost Boys is one of my favorite movies, but more campy than scary. Flatliners still haunts my waking thoughts all these years later. What a hell of a ride. It's pretty creepy in Freeway. Second, Flatliners. The premise was way too creepy and believable. Love letter. Thought that it a very original film when it was released. Flatliners scared the shit out of me when I was younger. Afraid to watch it now. Watch An Eye for an Eye with Kiefer and Sally Field. That one is scary because it happens and he plays the bad guy so well. Puff Diddy said the kitty, but the milk's still good. One of the few lines I remember from that movie, but yay, he was really good in that as the bad guy. But wasn't scary so much as tense and sad and troubling. Only scary in the sense that you were scared for her, Sally's daughter, and that he'd do something to her. He's a pretty disturbing fellow in Freeway. Extremely. I remember seeing it during a free HBO week as a tween and it stuck with me for years until it was Googleable later on in life. Phone booth. Oh, why am I bumping into mentions of Kiefer and Donald Sutherland so frequently these days? Not that I mind, but it's a little freaky. Mirrors is spooky. The ending is terrifying. Mirrors is actually scary though, one of the best I've ever seen tbh. He was in Twin Peaks, Fire Walk with Me, and there were some genuinely terrifying scenes in that movie. Granted, the scariest scenes weren't in Sutherland's half as much as they were in Laura Palmer's half, but the point remains that Sutherland was tangentially linked to an effective scary movie. Is there a scene in particular that made the most horrifying scene thing? Bathtub scene is the big one. Here, from the thread, spoilers, obviously, though it's at the beginning-ish of the movie. My co-worker showed me that once, didn't realize it was that movie. Thanks. And rest assured, my beans are hidden. I watched this alone in my teens and was messed up for years. The bathtub scene. Yeah, fuck right off with that at 11:34 at night right now. Got about 40 seconds and then those screams booed me right out. Add that to my Halloween watch list. Oculus, also about a haunted Lovecraftian mirror, is also a great horror flick. Yes. I still think about the light bulb, such a simple, little scene, but good God, it's a full body cringe from me every time. Ending was so predictable but definitely didn't take away much from the film at all for me. Definitely worth a watch. It's 5 a.m. here and I'm about to fall asleep, but I'm so tempted. Literally the only movie I've ever walked out of. Thumbs down. What made it so bad? Honestly, at this point I don't even remember. If I rewatched it I may even like it now, haha. Don't mind me. Saw that when I was a freshman in high school and my grandmother's room had a huge vanity with 3 mirrors. I could not sleep that entire night unless I slept towards the wall, but it made me more anxious, lol. Sucks when you have a family of horror lovers. Oh man, the bathtub scene, woman facepalming, and I had almost forgot about it until today. Okay, I just went and read through the plot for this movie and I am spooked. I don't even need to see it. First I didn't recognize it, but then the scene in of the girl in bathtub came up and I recognized it as the one part of the movie that my older siblings were watching that I sat through for some reason. I still think of how badly it scared me sometimes. All my years of clicking links, this may be the one I regret the most. All the mirrors in my house are gone tomorrow. Will this scare the absolute fucking shit out of me? Absolutely. Will that knowledge stop me from doing that to myself? Absolutely not. That jaw-ripping part had me terrified of mirrors for a few days. Wanna know what's extra fucked up? There is actually a real-life belief system of magic involving mirrors, just like that movie, sorta. Mirrors were r/dimensional jumping's go-to way to cross into alternate universes. Not to mention scrying mirrors and whatnot. You all have good reason to be unnerved about mirrors. Fun fact, vampires and other evil entities didn't show up in mirrors due to the fact they used to be made of silver, which is regarded as one of the cleanest and purest materials to magic. Also related, the silver bullet needed to kill a werewolf. They don't make mirrors with silver anymore. There is no protection. Fuck that fucking movie, goddammit. I watched it when I was 11 with my best friend who loved horror movies, and after that I was scared to look in mirrors at night for a decade. I've only been over it for a few years. So here's a fun fact about me. I've never seen this movie, but it has still scarred me for life. I was 9 when it came out, and just the trailers for it gave me a lifelong fear of mirrors. I'm tempted to actually sit down and watch it to face my fears and realize that it probably isn't as scary as my child mind made it out to be, but I also think that might just make things worse. Watched this with my best friend when it first came out. We were in high school band at the time and he had just performed Man of La Mancha. Here's the thing, at the beginning of Man of La Mancha, there is a bit that has a very similar vibe to the theme for mirrors, pulled us instantly out of the movie. It was a scary movie, I'm sure, but that theme plays a lot during that movie, and every time it did, we would just start chuckling because we were reminded of band. Do you remember the ending to that movie, though? Like, wow. What the actual? OMG, finally someone that knows about this movie. I watched it when I was like 10 and have been traumatized ever since. Reminds me of that one scene in The Devil's Advocate when the advocate's woman sees her reflection in a glass shard. Scared the hell out of me. 2013 Oculus is right up there too. Could only rewatch the trailer until the part with the blonde girl. That shit scarred me lol. I was like 12 or 13 when I watched it for the first time. But I couldn't look into mirrors for quite some time after that. Had completely forgotten this movie. It freaked me out pretty badly, and now I'm terrified again. You should watch the original film Into the Mirror. The Kiefer Sutherland film is a remake. The Korean version is much scarier. Oh man, Asian horror movies are on a whole other level. I had no idea this was a remake. I'll look for the original, thanks. Is one of my favorites. Enjoy. This movie royally fucked up mirrors for me as a teen. And Mirrors was so good. Mirrors 2 was so disappointing though. This movie is the reason I hate mirrors now. Man, fuck that shit. This looks fucking creepy ass good. Googled the movie and I regret it just by seeing the pictures. The movie is dumb, but the concept is still terrifying. Never realized quite how many mirrors were in my house until I watched that movie. I was afraid of clicking the link because there are still too many Rick rolls around. Did it anyway, smile. Oh, I wiped this movie from my brain. One scene springs to mind now. Seeing the trailer I've realized these kinds of movies are not for me. Good, I'm glad to know that movie hasn't fallen prey to the Mandela effect yet. I really enjoyed it. It was a nice refreshing take on horror. It has some really good scenes, but overall the movie is kinda meh in my opinion. This is kind of where I landed, too. The concept is really interesting and scary, but the writing is pretty so-so. Had some scenes and elements that freaked me out, but overall it was just okay. Someone else commented that it's a remake of a Korean film, so I definitely need to look that up. Boy, now I know what I'll watch this weekend. No thanks. Not gonna watch this at 3:30 a.m. but you bet your ass I'm gonna watch it. Saw this in theaters when it first came out. I was about 14 or 15. Our local theater has mirrors everywhere. I had to pee mid-movie and navigated through the entire bathroom with my eyes closed because I was so scared to look at the mirrors. I can only imagine how dumb I looked lol. Yeah, I remember seeing this. The part where she splits her mouth open with her hands is fucking nuts. Funny username. Anyway, the ending is crazy cool where he, spoilers, ends up being stuck in the mirror world and the first thing you see is the word ambulance. Isn't that the movie that has Kim Possible's boobs? It isn't that scary. But then nothing really scares me, so I can't tell. About Oculus. Oculus kicks ass. Cheesy, but done well. Oculus is another freaky mirror movie. Check it out. I really liked Oculus. Messes with your head a good bit. I think I literally gasped at the end even though I was afraid that's what was coming. It was good. Yes. I watched it when I was 13 and I was freaking out about every mirror in my house for the next month. God, the bathtub scene still creeps me out. Right? I saw this movie once like 3 years ago and still this scene still pops into my head sometimes. That and the moments where the reflections don't follow the people, like the person moves away and the reflection just stays, watching. It's so unsettling. Oculus is a great mirror horror movie. I disagree. God, that movie was boring. Saw that in theaters. It had great parts and then meh parts. Overall decent but not memorable. until I am home alone and hearing noises and remember all the reflective surfaces in my house. Then the movie becomes relevant again. Glad I'm not the only one. Could be the dumbest movie, but when it's dark and creepy and I'm alone, it all comes back. I think it's because while the plot, directing, acting, effects, etc., did not go as well as planned, it's the idea that is planted in your head for your evil subconscious to pick up later and try to screw with you. Same thing happened to me when I saw the original The Strangers in the cinema. No issues, until I'm home at night and I look out at the dark neighborhood. Also didn't help that I tend to read the trivia about movies I go and see and found out the based on a true story bit was a combination of finding a weird thing in the woods, I forget if it was a body or just some object. Then the screenwriter as a child had people knock on random doors in his neighborhood one night. When someone didn't answer it was assumed that no one was home so the place was robbed, or the one I am least proud of. Years upon years ago when I spent some time living with my mom she was gone for the night. I'm at the computer while the Psycho remake is on TV, not paying it any attention. The movie ends and now it's late, the neighborhood is dark, and the creepy music comes on during the credits. It's then that I realize I'm alone, the neighborhood sucks, and dear God was that the cats waking up for their rampage around on the wooden floors or an axe murder? What scene? I'm too scared to watch it lol. Oh, but I've seen both mirror stories of beyond belief, fact or fiction. Don't know if anyone knows that show, but I was real scared of mirrors because of it. Is it a good horror movie to watch with people? I'm kind of interested. This instilled a nice and healthy fear of mirrors in me as a kid, yes-er-ee. I only ever saw the TV trailer. The woman whose reflection grabs its own upper and lower jaw and starts to spread them. I still have trouble getting ready to go anywhere, not just at night. Any idea how hard it is to pee without being in the mirror at any part of your bathroom trip? Have you seen Oculus? Again hit miss with people but it's about an evil mirror good watch for my opinion scared me lol. Yes. I actually looked for it after I saw this one since I liked the mirror idea so much. I really liked it too. I watched the opening sequence and I can say that I was quite scared until it actually revealed what was dangerous. After that I had zero fear. Seeing the trailer for that movie at 10 years old is the only reason I was terrified of mirrors for years after. Wishing I had never read that thread earlier. Was just thinking this exact thing when I was reading this comment chain. I don't want to think about that scene again but good God no. Another scary one with mirrors was The Skeleton Key. I was 10 when that movie came out. I never saw it, just the trailer alone fucked me up for a while. I know you're talking about a different movie, but the Ouija remake in 2017 had me horrified of mirrors. I still can't go past one with a flashlight without feeling anxious/unsettled. Watched this in the theaters. First time I've ever left my seat because I was feeling a bit nauseated. Went to the toilet to clear my head, and lo and behold, fucking huge mirrors everywhere DX. Eventually returned and finished watching the movie, and it wasn't so bad in the end. In fact, the end felt kind of silly, but I've never felt as uncomfortable by a movie as after the bathtub scene. Shit, I've never seen that movie but my mom was an extra in it, I think one of the nuns. Now I'm glad I haven't. Most disturbing scene from a movie is the bathtub scene from Mirrors. JFC, I nearly vomited. The opening scene? And what about that fucked up scene where the image in the mirror rips its own fucking jaw off? Another good movie about a mirror is Oculus. Will I be scared of mirrors forever if I watch? I watched Mirrors movie as a kid and I couldn't see a mirror or go near one for like a month. I couldn't be in a bathroom. It was terrifying. I have forgotten half of the movie but I am still scared of the dark sometimes. Don't know if the movie had an effect on me. Thread. Have you ever looked yourself in the eye in the middle of the night and really studied your face? The longer you look at it the more it feels like someone else. Try getting really close to the mirror, then looking sideways with just your eyes. You can see yourself in your peripheral vision, and there's something really fucking creepy about seeing your reflection not looking at you. You have a second mirror? Because I'm about to blow your mind. I recommend not doing this on acid. Marijuana, sure. Sober, Oh, it's so fucking surreal. Come on, don't be afraid of the fact that your reflection stares back at you. Even when you turn away. God damn it, now I remember why I hid my bedroom mirror as a kid. Reasons why I only have one mirror in my house now. Not just mirrors though, reflections from windows, TV screens, glass in frames. Your Nintendo Switch when it cuts to black. Same. I never felt anything towards mirrors, and after reading this thread it's got me a bit messed up. I feel like I do spend a while just staring at myself in the mirror though. Edit, not admiring or diminishing my looks or anything, just wondering what are you doing with your life? Currently high as balls, so a solid fuck you. Same. Now try to look outside your window at night. Fuck, me too. Frown. 28 and yelled at my friend for wanting to buy my apartment another mirror just so she could use it when going out and whatnot. I told her I'm fine with just the tiny ass medicine box mirror I have in the bathroom. She asked why and I told her I don't want two portals to another dimension in my home, one is enough, thank you very much. He thought I was kidding and being a typical single male. The type who takes the working light bulb out of one room and into the next for a year instead of buying a new pack of bulbs. I wasn't kidding. Why wouldn't you want to know? Me too. It's oneself that terrifies a person in the night within their reflection. I once saw myself in a mirror so wide at about 2 full seconds behind my actions. Imagine seeing yourself turn around to stare right back at you even though it should have been immediate. Forgot I used to be scared of mirrors. Shit. Apparue. Fuck, me too. I used to hate mirrors because I thought that one time I will look at them and see some figure looking back with a smile. I seriously would duck when I pass by them.